welcome to another edition of the Sports War. And we are back. We got the full crew in the house. That is what it's all about. The Yankees, out of any team in the league, are the best equipped to handle a blow like this.
I think there is a higher power at play here. He's due law of averages. That dude is the ultimate scrub. It's trash. Yeah. Every person you have in there is fucking trash.
Next game, you're going to see a big performance. You can see it in the end of the game, and I'm just totally stoked and excited for this.
And we are back. Welcome to another edition of the Sports Port here on a Wednesday. Yes, Tony, it is hump day. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing great, dude. And don't give me that look, okay? I feel like you like saying hump day just as much as I do, Brian. But obviously stoked to be here. It is, that midweek freaking adrenaline rush, baby. Let's go. Rangers with the big win. Can't wait to get into it. As well as, perhaps you have some gripes and issues with ESPN Radio.
Oh, yeah. We'll definitely get into that. But a great day to be alive as we continue Cole watch, waiting with bated breath. And I saw something about who the heck was it? Lorenzen, that they might be interested in Lorenzen. They've offered Cease a deal.
Bated breath.
But yeah, it's just, they're dragging it on, making it worse. But like I said, we'll talk about it. But let's just start with the comments and then we'll move along here.
We'll move along. Yes. Start early and often. You know who it is. It's Michael Buckta says the crew is back. Never forget January 7th, 2024, when Barnes, Michael, and Tony first found out about how much I hate Tatum. Didn't know there was a specific date on there, dude. It was January 7th. Was that wasn't the watch party, was it?
No, it was probably like the first time he commented
here?
or something.
Yeah.
Or when he went to the horseshoe.
Maybe that.
Probably
and then he talks about his most hated players too, for each sport. You can imagine who it is for the NBA. This is where it's kind of interesting. MLB, Altuve, NHL, Marchand. Got to respect that. But then Brian, NFL, Mahomes, dude.
Michael, it's time for you. This is a turning point in your life, Michael. I'm not kidding. It's time to focus on the love and not the hate.
Wow.
And it's like you could have rival teams, rival players, but I think it's time to love, Michael. If I had one homework assignment for you, I would say to love life.
What
do you think, Tony?
That's some of the best advice I think anyone will ever give, dude. I don't even know. Is Buckta a Jets fan? Do you know his football team? Oh, the Steelers. That's right, dude. That's right. Russell Wilson. Let's go, dude. That's pretty awesome.
Really pumped about that.
Yeah, definitely, dude.
Big upgrade.
Speaking of being pumped, we got Kev Du in the house. We want the smoke. Aaron for VP. LOL. Jets will be Jets. He says, "What's up, Yankee boy?" That's you, Brian. Shout out to the DTV crew. Hashtag TCA. Hashtag DTV. Hashtag Sportsport. OG is a difference maker. He says,
Kev Du.
And then also Josh P says, yo, happy hump day, fam. Knicks and Rangers win. Absolutely love it. Hashtag TCA, hashtag Sportsport, hashtag DTV. Michael Buckta, hyped for Josh B. And then he's asking him to come back soon, homie. They're going to talk smack about Tatum, dude. And he does follow up. He goes, I do love life, but not Tatum.
But Michael, like, you don't have to hate him though. I just feel like it's just a little much, and it's like I know deep down he's a great basketball player, so he plays for a rival team, but like, you know what I mean? I just think, come on, like also I think there is a point where we put personalities aside and appreciate what somebody does on the field, on the diamond, on the court, on the course. Just think about that for a second.
Yeah, that's right. Oh, he's tight. Duncan LeBron rookie year. His rookie year, he dunked on LeBron.
Yeah, but like, who cares?
Posterized him, or
and then he says he sucks in the playoffs. But also Mahomes too. Like, we get it. Jackson, Brittany, Taylor Swift. But what Patrick Mahomes? He didn't ask for any of that. I mean, I guess you could say
he asked for the wife.
He could have not had a child with Brittany Mahomes, sure. But I mean, I just think to not like him because of that stuff is ridiculous.
It's
I mean, it's blinding you from the greatness of the one, the only Patrick Mahomes. So just something to keep in mind, Tony. But like I said, so much to get to, and we really appreciate, as always, everybody who's tuning in right now. We're going to start with golf. We do have the Players Championship beginning tomorrow. And is there any way, I know I'm kind of putting you on the spot here, Tony.
What's up? What do
But
you
if
got?
you could just put on, like, just search it on YouTube, the Players Championship music.
Oh wow. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like you've heard the commercials before.
Definitely. Let's see. Players Championship music. Theme
Gotta be
music.
there.
Right? This has
Yep.
gotta be it. Yeah, let's do this one. It must have been maybe the next one.
But
Okay.
you could just maybe like tone it down.
Oh
You
yeah,
know what
no,
I mean? Just like a little
I got
light,
you. Absolutely.
light touch.
Dude, no worries at all.
But this
brother.
is the 50th rendition of the Players. Very and they're all Augusta. You have Elton, 91, 97, Sutton, 83 and 2000, the third, 92 and 03, Tiger Woods, 2001, 2013. Of course, everybody a little disappointed that Tiger is not in the field this week. In terms of the specs of this course, 7,289 yards, prize money, $25 million. Surely one of the top persons on tour. Winner getting $4.5 million. To defend his title. Just be thinking. I don't know if that's. I don't know if it's because of.
He's in the rolling movie. I have it.
All right, Josh, just let us know if you can hear me. I feel like if you couldn't, back, you would still say something. Last year, Scotty, 271, 17 under par, won this tournament. So obviously, it was a great showing there. Out of Scotty Scheffler. And then 2022, Cam Smith won at 13 under. 21, JT won at 14 under. 2020 canceled after the first round. Rory was off to a good start after the first round, but ultimately canceled with COVID. He won though in 2019 at 16 under. Webb Simpson in 2018 at 18 under. Siwoo Kim 10 under 2017, and Jason Day 2016 15 under, and Ricky Fowler 12 under in 2015. I think also, a key point here to make is that, usually it is very tough. It's very finicky. Players' success at this tournament year over year. That's why only Jack Nicklaus has won 3. That's only why 5 golfers in 50 years, only 5 golfers. Oh, I guess if you count Jack 6, but 6 golfers in 50 tournaments have won multiple renditions of the Players Championship. So, of course, the thing when you think of the Players, you think of the Island Green on 17, and we've seen so many tournaments live and die on that hole, balls going into the water. So obviously just an historic and iconic venue in Punta Verde, Florida, one of the best non-major tournaments we have on the PGA Tour. And looking at who's in the field, I mean, pretty much everybody you can imagine. If you're looking in terms of world golf ranking, the top 10 is all there. Scotty, Rory, Victor Hovland, Wyndham Clark, Xander Schauffele, Patrick Cantlay, Max Homa, Brian Harman, Ludwig Aubert, the only name missing there, world number 3, John Rahm, obviously on the Live Tour. You also have Morikawa, Spieth, Matsuyama, Thigala, former champs in Day and Thomas. And then, you also have Tony Finau, Will Zalatoris, just to name, a couple people, and kind of a good story. Also, last year on the senior tour, Steve Stricker won the Senior Players Championship at Firestone Country Club. So by rendition of that, he gets a bid in this field. So that's a great opportunity for him, the former Ryder Cup captain and obviously a mainstay on the PGA Tour. PGA Tour for years and now on the Champions Tour, and has had a world of success over there with the senior major championships. And we saw Jerry Kelly last year at the ripe age, I believe, of 57, becoming the oldest player to make the cut at the Players. And he was playing because he had won the Senior Players Championship the year before. So this is going to be an absolutely outstanding, event. Just such a beautiful course. And I really can't wait to tune in. And I think the thing, Tony, as we try to handicap a winner here, the thing that makes it so difficult is the fact that nobody wins this twice. So while, Scotty, has won this before, Rory, the top two guys in this field have won this tournament before. And of course, Scotty last year, past success doesn't, lead to future results in this tournament. Some years you have it, some years you don't. So when you keep that in mind, how do you separate, from who you think has a chance here? And do you also in your mind say, and Riley alluded to this, you can pretty much bookmark that whoever won last year is not going to repeat the following year. And we've only seen it happen 6 times.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that's kind of tough, dude, because Scotty won it last year, right? We talked about, yeah. So I don't know, man. I mean, if he's playing like he did last weekend, I think it's going to be kind of hard to say that he's not going to win again, honestly. I think this is one of the harder tournaments for me to pick a favorite to. I also was looking at the weather. Looks like it's going to rain on Saturday. Chance of rain on Sunday. Friday should be fine. Thursday fine as well. So I don't know.
Thorne?
Dude. Thorne there? I don't know.
He was there last year.
He was there last year. Maybe I'll text him and ask him. As we're getting a little behind the scenes look. Speaking of Thorne, of the broadcast here and some of the course.
And the 17th.
And the 17th, dude. But yeah, I don't know. I think it's gonna be really. I would not put Scotty repeating out of touch here. I don't know. I mean, do you think so?
Well, if I had to say, I think he's a lock to finich top 10.
Right.
Most likely will be in the top 5.
Yeah.
But I would say, give me the field, except Rory McIlroy, because I did just put in a bet last night, 2-1.
Really?
So meaning, it's like, you have to throw down 2 to win 1.
Yeah. For what?
But Scotty over Rory. So, I did the same thing last week for that tournament.
I think that's a lock. I feel like Rory won it in 19?
19.
And then he's gotten cut for the past 3 out of 5 years. The way he's
played this year has been garbage. He hasn't had a top 20. Tony.
I know. I do. It's been piss poor, and I think he's up there in terms of odds to win.
Yes.
Which I thought was kind of interesting.
Number 2 golfer in the world.
I know, but again, you think historically at this tournament, I think last year he came in 33rd or something. Year before that, cut. Year before that, I think maybe 15th or something like that. But the year before that, cut again. It's I don't know. I think historically he hasn't done well at this tournament. So I think that bet is got to be locked. You said it was plus money?
No.
Oh, it was
minus 200.
Oh, minus 200. Okay.
What are you gonna do?
But still, it's a lock, dude.
Yeah. Rather than mess around with somebody else, who might not be. I just feel like every week Scotty Scheffler brings it, and I feel like you can't say that about any golfer on the PGA Tour other than him.
You really can't at all.
And there was some more talk about this yesterday. I think Scotty actually saying, the people that have left for LIV have divided the tour, and that he wants everybody to play together. His interest is staying, with the tour, but I think he was alluding to the fact that, a merger, is coming, sooner rather than later. But I really think, Tony, as much as I love watching these tournaments, that we really need that, because I just think it makes every one of these signature events and even other tournaments that maybe don't have that distinction just so much more compelling. Because like I just said about him showing up every week, the fact that we can't say that about any other golfer, and in a lot of weeks there's over 150 golfers in fields, and only one guy we can say we know is going to show up every week. I feel like that's just an indictment. When you look at the world rankings, Rory being number 2, quite possibly, and I know, yes, Rory is an all-time legend, 3-time major champion. Of course he's great, but in terms of being the world number 2, I mean, since I've been watching golf, might be like in terms of how he's playing recently as well, like the weakest number 2 in the world I've ever seen.
Yeah,
He's
no,
not
easily,
playing like
dude, right?
shit.
I know.
Like,
It's, how is he put at number 2?
it's just
What is the
based
deal with
on
that, dude?
tournaments, finishes, and it's over the year. Like it's you get
not just
points
this
for
season?
finishes. Yes, it goes back. That's how you work your way up through the years. So I guess probably last season he had some good tournaments. I think second at the U.S. Open. So that brings you up. Victor at 4. Obviously Rahm being number 3. Victor has been a little quiet. You know what I mean? Like he hasn't been like hunting leaderboards. Wyndham Clark at 5. I mean, I think he won at Pebble Beach. Obviously had the lift clean in place on Saturday, rained out Sunday, so kind of winner by default. But I think he is a really good player, but he needs to win more to really establish himself.
Yeah, no, I totally agree.
I
Sorry,
mean,
just looking at Hovland
this year.
so
Yeah,
far.
he has one top 20.
Yeah,
I mean that's
Genesis, not great.
Yeah, so not a great start to his season. Wyndham has been good. Xander, same thing. Like in terms of he's 6th in the world, but it's like again, I just feel like he needs to win more. He's not winning at a high clip. Same thing with Patrick
7 career
Cantlay.
wins, yeah.
I know Patrick Cantlay is good. He'll probably be in the mix here. But again, you don't see him winning that many tournaments.
Yeah.
Max Homa had a great run last year, has really, really tapered off. And I believe PGA Tour.com power rankings had him 2nd on their list. But again, look at the results for Homa this season. Not great, Tony. I guess a top 10 last week was good. Top 20 at the Genesis, but then a cut at the Phoenix and almost last at Pebble, and Farmers Insurance and Century were good, but again, like especially when you take in the count that second half of the last year, there was a slide. He's due to get things together. Out
of those golfers, you think he's the most likely?
I honestly think Victor Hovland
Yeah.
is, and then second on that list, I would probably say either Wyndham Clark or Patrick Cantlay.
Wow, Xander, no.
I think it's always going to be like in the mix, but just not getting over the hump. And but it'll be so interesting though when I do think eventually the merger will happen. But just week in, week out, having Scotty going against Rahm, Cam Smith, Brooks Koepka, Bryson DeChambeau, Dustin Johnson, and then also with Wyndham Clark, Patrick. I mean, it's going to be must see TV when that happens again.
Oh yeah, dude, that's gonna be exciting for sure.
So yeah, a lot to consider here.
Yeah.
But what are you thinking?
You ready, dude?
Yeah.
Give me Scotty on the repeat. Let's go.
Wow.
Dude. Yeah. Honestly, like I was doing some research this morning. I really did think, maybe Rory could pull it off. He has done it before. I know again, like kind of like what you're saying with all these other golfers like Homa and Cantlay and whatever, like he's due for the win, but I don't know, dude, just even talking about Rory, I just can't picture him being that competitive, like you said, wanting it. And also, like we said, no one wants it more than Scotty, and if he putts like he was like last weekend, I really can't see how he doesn't win this tournament. And you think again, like he won it. He's the most recent winner. I think he run by 5 strokes last year. I think 17 under. And next player I think was like 12 under around there.
I know he won by 5. Last week.
Yeah. So I mean, pretty significant there that he's winning by 5 strokes. So yeah, give me Scotty. I say he wins. I'll say 16 under.
16 under.
Yeah.
Okay. So Scotty, and then we're gonna do start doing this now because I didn't realize you could look at fields and go by world golf ranking. So I need somebody outside of the top 50 in the world as a sleeper. Who do you got?
I would imagine Jimmy Stanger over here is outside of the top 50.
Yes.
Okay.
Great. What's the deal with that?
I believe I took him as a sleeper. I think on the American Express.
Okay.
And he had a top 15 finish there. So yeah, I just like his play. He seems he brings some energy. And he's coming hot off the Puerto Rico Open where he tied for 3rd. So let's go. He's been golfing well this year. So give me Jimmy, the 28-year-old out of Tampa, baby.
Well, look at Jimmy.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
Huh?
Jimmy,
how you doing, bud? Yeah. So for me, I'm gonna go with Justin Rose. It's been a little bit since he's won anything. But I think I don't know if his last win might have been the Pebble Beach last season potentially. But you look at it, he's actually right now. If you look at world ranking, he's 51st in the world. And if you look at
We're looking at stats from so far
well,
this
so
year.
this is last
He won Pebble
year,
Beach
so won
last
Pebble
year.
Beach, and then
And he also
won the
Ryder
Ryder Cup,
right,
but
of
finished with
course.
2 top 10s. And then what do we got for this season?
Let's see. So
Nothing
far,
great. Yeah, nothing. A top 11th at Pebble, but other than
That was
it's
nice,
kind of
yeah.
all over the board. But
Could be
veteran
due.
player, I think he definitely, definitely could be due. And then two, just kind of looking at this, in terms of former champs in the field. So
tied for 6 last year.
Okay,
players,
so
there
that's
we
a
go.
start. But we got Scotty is 1,
Mhm.
JT's 2, Rari's 3, Webb's 4, Siwoo Kim's 5, Jason Day's 6, Ricky Fowler 7, Matt Kuchar is 8. And I believe that's it because Steve Stricker did not win this tournament. And then also, I think Stricker is like 54 years old. Like I said, primarily on the Champions Tour now.
Mhm.
We saw Jerry Kelly make the cut last year, a couple years older. Do you think that we see, another senior tour exemption making the cut here at the Players?
Yeah, I don't see why not. I mean, I feel like we see that more, often in golf, right?
Mhm.
If
Get
you,
the putting down.
who do you think it would be?
No, well, I mean,
Like,
he's really the
yeah.
guy.
Oh,
Because
that's
there's
it,
only
just
one
for him?
exemption. I mean, you win the Seniors Players
Yeah, yeah.
Championship, you're in. I mean, looking at the bottom here, nobody stands out really that's like that old. Specifically, I mean, Joel Damon's in the field, but he's not old. But obviously,
Damon.
you would consider him somewhat of a sleeper. And Justin Rose, I think, is 41, 42. So Gary Woodland, I think, same thing as well. But yeah, I think Stricker, he does a great job on the senior tour. And I could definitely see him making the cut here. So I'm sure there's some type of prop up for that. But like I said, when I saw Scotty over Rory, like I said, not expecting Rory to win. I mean, Scotty to win, but I think he's going to be right there at the end. And only because it's so hard. Not that he's not better than all these golfers that he's competing against, but it's like we know that doesn't mean that you just win every tournament that you're in.
Right. I hope he wins.
And I just realized we were talking about this. I didn't even say my picks. Or did I say my picks?
No, you did. Justin Rose.
Sleeper, but did I say
Sleeper.
Hovland? I don't know. I think we got. I forgot.
I don't think you ever did say
Okay.
Hovland.
I think
dude.
I
I think
wrote
you
it, didn't-
alluded to it.
Okay, but yes,
Yeah.
Victor Hovland
That's
winning.
a great pick, dude.
And then Rose just outside the top 50 there. So let's see what happens. And the great thing about this, I think there's as little commercial as there is on any event on the PGA Tour with the Players Championship. And I'll get you the TV schedule. Obviously, an NBC outfit in terms of the coverage.
Lovely.
And I believe PGA Tour Live, I was thinking that it would be Peacock, but I believe PGA Tour Live will have like the, non-terrestrial coverage. So, all right. So tomorrow, you got 1 to 7 on Golf Channel and Peacock, and then 7:30 to 7 on ESPN Plus. Same thing on Friday, Saturday, 2 to 7 on NBC. In Peacock, and then 7, or I guess they don't have a morning start time, but till 7 p.m. on ESPN Plus, and then 1 to 6 on NBC on Sunday. So some coverage. It's just going to be great. Just seeing how everybody attacks that 17th hole. What weather plays into, Tony? You're telling me, with the rain, and I'm sure there'll be some wind. You got some wind.
Oh yeah,
going
like
on that
there's
17th.
like 12, 15 mile an hour winds.
Yeah.
I think on Saturday it's gonna come in pretty heavy, dude.
Yeah.
I forget where did I see the fucking
And maybe up there it was just showing it.
yeah, I forget where it was, but I was like, this is kind of sick because I didn't realize that they did this.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, take my word for it.
So that's obviously going to be interesting. I'm so excited for this tournament, and obviously we'll see how everything is positioned tomorrow. But let's go. The 1 week closer
There it is.
to Augusta National, which I believe actually, Tony, because second week of April, I believe we're talking 4 weeks.
1 month away, dude. A mere month away.
Even less.
Wow.
The 11th is the first day of Augusta. So Today is the 13th. So
Let's
great
freaking
stuff
go,
there.
dude.
Good temperatures, but just wind will be
Wind and some
somewhat
rain.
fierce
Yeah.
Saturday and Sunday. I think, the rain too, it's Florida. I'm sure it'll be where there's like torrential downpour for like
And then
20
stop
minutes
it.
and then it
Yeah.
stops and it's hot and everything like that. So,
Ugh.
should be fun. The Players Championship, the 50th edition of the Players Championship. But time to move on. Time to go to the world of the National Football League.
He wants Jefferson, climbs the ladder. Oh my goodness! Justin Jefferson, the catch of his life.
Burrow fires, intercepted, picked off at a pick six. Minka Fitzpatrick, an absolute ball hawk.
Niners twist up front and get to Tagovailoa. Bosa again.
Mahomes escaping, on the move, stops, spins, flips it forward for the touchdown.
Stop it.
Aaron Jones, oh, what a tackle. Quincy Williams with a pile driver.
All right. So a lot going on in the NFL, and I just want to get this out of the way. This whole nonsense with Aaron Rodgers, Vice President JFK Jr. I think it is number one on my list in terms of pet peeves, that the fact that this has gained so much traction, and Rick and Dave, must have spent 2 hours on it this morning. And it's just, I think it's a joke, and it shows what a joke our society is, that we can actually take something like this seriously and spend time on it. You know what I mean? It's like, yes, I know Aaron Rodgers is a weirdo, so you can't like rule anything out, but it's like, he's not going to do it. And you want to know the reason why he's not going to do it? Because it would be a complete waste of his time. Trying to be an independent candidate, you have no shot to win. History is spoken for that. So the fact that we think he's going to give up whatever it is, $35 million with the Jets next season to do this is it's not happening. And it's just like, it really, it's like, I think it's embarrassing to focus time on it.
Delusion, Tony.
And I just can't take it, Tony. Honestly, it really irks me that this is like people are wasting that much time on this.
It's actually
dumb.
kind of funny. It is really dumb, and it's so funny because Mike mentioned it last night on Binge Buddies, and I was like, oh wow, that's like freaking hilarious. But I really just did not think like it would be that big. I turned Rick and Dave, and I'm like, they're talking about it. I'm like, what? Like, this is crazy. Like they're talking about how Woody's got to know, it's gonna be another week until he announces who it really is.
He's not gonna do it though. There's
no way, dude. There's no way.
He's not gonna do it. And like
Delusion,
I said,
Tony.
Either way, I don't know. I find myself as the days go on caring less and less about the Jets, because it's just like it's always something. It's always a joke, and it's hard. I haven't been invested in it in a while. I thought it was going to be last year, but then obviously, after the first couple of plays, of course, that was it. And I'm just not going to get, bent out of shape. If there's something to celebrate with the Jets and be excited about, I'm all for it.
Mm-hmm.
But I have no problem just watching the league as a whole. So just wanted to mention that. And I think that's all the mention that it deserves. Also around the league yesterday, we saw the Pittsburgh Steelers trading Deontay Johnson to the Carolina Panthers. So Michael Butka is going to be looking for a new number 2 wide receiver.
Dang.
So
what they get in return?
The trade is Johnson in the 7th for a 6th-round pick. So just basically moving from a 7th to 6th. And the reason being, I think he has a $10 million salary. And then, it's 5.8 dead cap for Pittsburgh, but of course they saved the 4.2, move up in the draft. And I think the reason why it wasn't more is because Johnson, I think, had 700 yards, struggled with some drops last year. So, you're not going to pay him $10 million. And then, give up picks for him. That's not going to happen, but has shown flashes before, has to catch the ball. But I think it's good for Pittsburgh to get him out of there and then give him, a fresh start. We also saw Derrick Henry, 2 years, $16 million with the Baltimore Ravens. So Henry moving from Tennessee to Baltimore, moving to the number 1 rushing attack in the league. I believe he was 2nd in the NFL with 1167 rushing yards last season. 30 years old, obviously a lot of tread on the tires, but I think the last game of the season, he had like 140 yards, whatever it was. What are your thoughts on Derrick Henry, Tony, moving from Tennessee to Baltimore?
I mean, I guess that's good for Baltimore. Again, I mean, you talked about it. They're, one of the most heavy run teams around the league. And I know you said you're 30 years old, a lot of miles on him,
Mhm.
but I think he still has a lot left.
But what's a lot? Like just this contract? Like
Oh
meaning like
yeah, like
he's
this,
a top 5
yeah,
running
like
back the
2
next
more
2
years. Yeah. And then it'll be kind of like, not that he like gonna retire, but like then
probably
you're
should,
like
though.
third down running back, if
Yeah,
that
power
like,
back, whatever.
yeah. So,
Um,
I like it.
But yeah, definitely next year I could see it working well, but there's always the risk of injury. But
Yeah,
it's not
true.
too much money to tie up, and I guess incentives could bring the deal to $20 million. And I think basically, you look at the Ravens. Keaton Mitchell as a rookie last year was great. Obviously, Dalvin Cook's not going to come back this year. J.K. Dobbins is a free agent. I wouldn't expect them to bring him back. And then Gus Edwards signed with the Chargers. So it's really going to be a thunder and lightning combination of Mitchell and Henry. And usually when you have successful running back tandems, it definitely is in the form of a thunder and lightning. So I think this will work well for Baltimore in terms of running. But again, we've talked about in nauseum, Tony, about the passing game. How do you improve upon that? How do you give Lamar more confidence that he can go to 80 yards in a minute and a half and throw the ball every down and have competent receivers?
Yeah.
Zay Flowers showed stretches last year, but I feel like Odell was okay, but they need a more established weapon for Lamar if that has any chance of working, in my mind.
Yeah. No, I mean, you said it perfectly to the T right there. Hit the nail on the head, whatever you want to say. Like Zay Flowers can't be your number one receiver. All right. You need to bring in some other pieces. Odell could be good, but I mean, I'm pretty sure he's like dating Kim Kardashian now.
Right.
So I mean,
and
like
think
it's
he's a
fucking
free agent too.
and he is a free agent. Yeah,
I think.
exactly. So I'm pretty sure he is. I think I heard Rick and Dave talking about it, or maybe it was it doesn't matter, dude. But it's like, all the noise that surrounds Odell in the locker room and the team, like you don't want that either. Like you want, especially with the way, again, like you think of the last game, I feel like the Ravens were so like hot-headed when, losing to the Chiefs. Like, I don't know, dude. I feel like they just didn't have their minds right. You want to bring in a nice, maybe even like a veteran receiver and then like another younger one who's already established in the league, just to kind of like keep their heads like straight, screwed on right. And again, like just having another target downfield for you. Who's their tight end too? Is it Likely, right? Is that their
Mark Andrews?
Mark Andrews?
Likely is the backup.
Likely's the backup. I feel like maybe a tight end would do you some good too. And I feel like a lot of teams don't go for a tight end necessarily, or at least I haven't heard about much talk. At least like a draft pick or something like that in terms of tight ends. I don't know the talent that's out there, but I think that could help you, like to have some guy who can like run over the middle of the field, be open for Lamar, quick pass, something that.
Andrews got hurt, so that killed him last year. But I think if he's one Likely too, that's fine. And I'm looking into Odell here. They restructured, so there wasn't a void year for this year. So technically he's under contract, but it just basically gives him the ability, to restructure the deal. But I think there is interest there. But again, I would still bring in a veteran wide receiver. But again, too, I don't know how many people actually want to go there. I think there is concern,
Really?
if you go there, like Devontae Adams, I could see him being very pissed off going there just because he wants the ball and he doesn't want to deal with inconsistencies. And not to say that they're going to trade for him, but that's just an example.
Yeah, I guess so. But I mean, I feel like at the end of the day, I mean, they're going to have a good chance to win, right? I mean, they're going to make the playoffs again. You don't think like they're a lock for it?
Probably, but then what are they doing once they get there?
Well, that's what I mean. Like, I feel like if you're that guy who's like, hey, like if I go to that team, I'm making them better. And I mean, they were in the conference championship, so.
Yeah, right.
So like, yeah.
So
dude.
like, what are we talking about?
Like, what are we talking
I mean,
about?
if Zach
like,
Wilson
I
had
would
some
want to
better
go there,
coaching, honestly, I think he would have made the Pro Bowl last year. In all seriousness, come on, Tony. I had to get you there. I had to. Because you tried starting it up again yesterday. Don't act like you didn't.
You did that, dude. You brought it up, dude.
Oh man. So yeah, I mean it's interesting stuff. We also saw the Houston Texans, 2 years, $49 million, Danielle Hunter. So for the former Minnesota Viking pass rusher. Had an outstanding year last year, 16 and a half sacks. So he gets a average salary of $24.5 million, 87 and a half sacks for his career. He's now 29 years old, the third round pick out of LSU in 2015. The Texans, I think have made some good moves with Joe Mixon as well this offseason. We'll see if they add another wide receiver, Tony. But I mean, they're a team on the rise. For sure. And I think they bucked the trend, too, of the teams being surprising following season just because I think of how good CJ Stroud is. I don't think they're going to take a step back.
No, absolutely not.
Especially with this, too.
And you would imagine that he improves. He would do better. There were some big spots where I think he had a couple games in the regular season where he just blew up in terms of turnovers.
Yep.
You would imagine with his experience now, even the playoff experience, I mean, he's going to look probably cleaner, more confident, and you give him some more pieces. I mean, I feel like that is a team that is very, I feel like, for other players, I would feel like good to go to, it's very tantalizing for them,
And then we have CJ Gardner-Johnson returning to Philadelphia after 1 year in Detroit, 3 years, $33 million. So Detroit, losing one of their top cornerbacks, had one interception last year for the Lions. And really, stuff in terms of significance. I don't really think there was really anything else. I mean, the 49ers signing Eric Kendricks. He's going to replace Dre Greenlaw and had 3.5 sacks and a forced fumble. And has posted more than 100 tackles in 8 consecutive seasons. So that's kind of interesting. So Eric Kendricks, wow, never mind that. That was for Dre Greenlaw. My mistake there. But Eric Kendricks, 79 tackles last year. And Greenlaw, of course, tore his Achilles in the postseason Super Bowl last year.
That was ridiculous.
What do we got? It looks like Nathan has a few comments.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah. Nathan's going off about the NFL right now. He's saying crazy free agency. Wide receiver Matt Collins going to the Bills, he's saying. A.J. Dillon is looking at the Cowboys, Colts, and Giants. Loving the Texans talk. He said they're having a great offseason, and he still can't believe Saquon's on the Eagles. I think I saw some video of him practicing yesterday in some green, dude, kind of crazy. And then also says Niners are expected to release Armstead this afternoon. I'm pretty sure they already announced that, right?
Yeah, we talked about that.
Yeah. Titans may have interest in him, he's saying.
And the contract also too. I don't think we talked about this. Maybe we did, but Gabe Davis's contract with the Jags, 3 years, $39 million. Thought he was a disappointment in Buffalo last year. But it'd be interesting to see too if they bring back
here, dude.
Calvin Ridley. Who is a free agent as well. I guess the Patriots are interested in him. So we'll have to see what happens, in regards to that. But that's pretty much where we are. I think we mention Patrick Queen to the Steelers? I think, Michael Butker did.
Yes, he did.
Okay. So we do have that.
Touch upon that.
But yeah, that's pretty much, where we are. And I'd say let's go now, Tony, to the world of Major League Baseball.
What a play! Stop it! Yep. And Alonso cracks one of the Mets win the ball game. Out of sight.
And it works at 100 miles an hour. 14 strikeout.
Drove deep to left field. There it goes. See ya.
All right. So kind of a ho-hum spring training game yesterday in Dunedin, Tony, for the Yankees. They fall 8-1 to Toronto. Had some regulars in the lineup, but actually none of them got hits. I mean, really the most notable with a hit here would be Vivas. Had a single. Luis Torrens, the catcher, who's been hot this spring, also had a single. Only extra base hit was a Rojas double. Jose Barrios started for Toronto and gave them 3 innings of 1-run ball, striking out 3. Pitching wise for the Yankees, Santana started it. Dwayne Underwood Jr. got the loss. Messenger pitched, Andrews, Calderon, Smith. So really nobody who's going to be with the team when camp breaks. So and I guess actually I did miss over Jose Trevino was 1 for 3. And of course, right now, everybody, everything's Judge gonna be their opening day, which I expect. What's the deal with Cole? So we're not thinking about other players, but I do have to say, really excited for a healthy Jose Trevino this year. I really think he was one of the more underrated players in the American League. And I believe he was an all-star actually 2 years ago, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, yeah?
Had a hot first half with the bat, tapered off in the second. And of course, won, the platinum glove. So if you go down, there should be a star.
One-time all-star.
One-time all-star,
There we
2022.
go. Go Glove.
But like I said, the second half hitting numbers were weak. But and we talked about this a lot too. But it was like every time they needed a big hit, it seemed like he got one. And it just like was interesting because the numbers didn't look great, but he was clutch. So the fact that you have that teaching Austin Wells, who's been on fire this spring, he's one of the more important players, I think, on the Yankees roster this year.
Yeah. Do you think, I mean, is he planning on getting the bulk of the starts here?
I think for now, it's going to, I honestly think it's going to be 50-50. If anything, 55-45, but they also might do like the righty lefty thing. And especially if Garrett Cole is going to miss the season, miss the first couple months,
right?
I think they were going to really have Trevino with him, but because of that not being the case, I don't think any of these pitchers have a quote unquote personal catcher. So they might play the righty lefty game as well as, who's hot with the bat. And they could even explore doing a third catcher as well if Wells is really heating up. But I've really been impressed with what I've seen out of Wells, and Trevino in the couple games he's played has got off to a good start this spring.
That's great, dude. I mean, having that 1-2 punch at the catching position is absolutely huge. Especially like you said, Wells is the younger guy. Trevino can teach him how to do some clutch hitting.
You think in 10 years, Tony, Alvarez, Wells, still the catchers for the respective teams?
Jeez, dude, 10 years.
They're young guys. I mean, right?
Yeah.
There's a chance.
I would think so. Yeah.
Definitely 5.
I mean, I feel like I have some confidence in Alvarez from being there for 10 years. You would probably know more about Wells. I mean,
yeah.
Yeah, you think so for Wells?
Yeah. No, I do.
That's kind of sick.
Just because, like offensive catchers are so rare. You know that. I mean, what have the Mets had one since Mike Piazza? I mean,
no.
Yeah.
Absolutely not.
And I know the Yankees, every time they've won, they've had an offensive catcher, whether it was Thurman, whether it was Yogi, whether it was Jorge Posada, just to name a few, they've always had that offensive catcher. And I think Austin Wells is going to be very important. And we're so fortunate to have Jose Trevino, a guy we basically got for a bag of donuts a couple years ago.
Yeah.
That he's one of the top defensive catchers in the league. Defense so important. And I think he will have a very positive effect on Austin Wells as he becomes a consistent starting catcher in this league. Today, we are back at Steinbrenner Field, Yankees versus the Red Sox. And we do have a lineup that really resembles pretty close to what we'll see opening day. And probably the only difference would be Grisham, if Judge is not ready, would be filling in for Greg Allen, who's batting last. But you got LeMahieu leading off, Soto batting second, Torres batting third, Rizzo cleaning up, Stanton at DH, Verdugo in left, Volpe at short, Austin Wells catching, and then, like I said, Greg Allen getting the nod, in center field. And then you also have Carlos Rodon starting for the Yankees. So all the negativity with Cole, the uncertainty, and, Nestor kind of getting lit up. Rodon's ERA right now is 6.35. I think it's imperative, Tony, that Carlos Rodon has a decent start today. Like at least like 4 innings, 1 earned, like 5 strikeouts, 95 to 96 on the gun. That's what we need out of Carlos Rodon today.
Yeah, dude. I mean, like you said it is imperative. I mean, obviously nothing announced about Garrett Cole, right? But I mean, you're still going to be starting to operate now where Rodon's going to move into your ace spot. You never know. And there really can't be any doubt in your mind that Rodon can't get out there every start and give it his all and do well. So, like you said, fastball's got to be locating. It's got to be, high speed. He's got to be dialed in, dude. And I think he will be. I mean, I feel like if there's one thing you can recognize from Rodon, it is kind of like his mental capacity for pitching in big spots, for being under pressure. I feel like he has at least it looks like he has the headspace for it. You know, like maybe not all the time his mechanics are correct, but I feel like mentally he doesn't really, bow down, So,
No, exactly. And I think he's up for the challenge.
Yeah.
He's motivated. He's slimmed down as well.
Let's go, baby.
This offseason. So let's see what he can do. This one 105 on the Yes Network, and the Yankees minus 215 here. Just because the Red Sox not going with many regulars. So again, no excuse here for Rodon to get lit up. Their lineup: Rafaela, Cassis, Reyes, Dahlback, Abreu, Valdez, McGuire, Hamilton, Guthrie, Tony.
Wow.
No excuse for Carlos Rodon not to have a great outing today.
No excuse, dude.
And this Yankee lineup, I think, should have some success too. Nick Pivetta, I know you remember him getting
Of course,
lit up
dude.
like a Christmas tree in Philadelphia.
Yes, sir.
And has been up and down with the Red Sox. So really just hope to get a nice, win here, and have some confidence, in our other starters other than Garrett Cole.
Absolutely.
As the time goes on here
Right.
with Cole, Tony, I mean, you feel any differently than you did yesterday? I mean, yesterday you kind of said it's not over yet, but it seemed like if you had to pick one way, you would side with that it was over. I mean, any difference here today as time goes on?
Not really, Brian.
But
I mean,
silence is danger, right? Or no? Why are you getting a second opinion? Why are you looking at a trade for Dylan Cease? Why are you looking and signing Mike Lorenzen?
Right. All signs would point to Garrett Cole's injured.
But you think, do you lean Tommy versus anything else?
I guess.
Yeah.
I guess you would have to lean Tommy John, but I mean, you never know, dude. I mean, again, that's why I'm not nothing's really changed in terms of how I feel about it yet. Because you really just don't know until they say something, And again, I mean, I feel like Yankees in the past, even with good information, they still don't say anything. So, you never know, dude.
By the way, pretty good short yesterday about talking about that.
Is
it
it
gonna be
yeah.
today? Is it
Hilarious.
gonna be tomorrow?
Yeah.
That honestly was an
Nail
outstanding
in the coffin. No, kiss of death.
Yeah, definitely a kiss of death. But my guess, Tony, again, just trying to infer here, is just that they said it's a torn ligament, and they're just meeting with many people as possible. If they think it's possible, they could go the Masahiro Tanaka route, missing a month or two, rehabbing it without surgery. I'm guessing, right?
Yeah. How likely do you think that? I feel like that never doesn't really
Well, the thing is,
pan out
Tanaka
well sometimes,
still
though,
has
dude.
not gotten Tommy John, but everybody knows since that happened, he was never the same.
Yeah.
So, I mean, but obviously this is such a big year for the New York Yankees. Would you try it if it was up to you? If that is the case,
If I'm Garrett Cole,
if you're the Yankees,
if I'm the Yankees,
partially torn, would have to miss, let's just say hypothetically 2 months, but then he get out there, or would the Tanaka scenario make you a little skittish about going that route?
I mean, I guess the Yankees as an organization, I would be a little skittish, but I still would probably push Cole to do that. Because like you said, I mean, I feel like the time to win is kind of now, where you really need to make that big impact. You really need to win the World Series now, I feel. So I think it's kind of up to Cole, though. I feel like Cole would not want to do that. He'd rather get the surgery, I would imagine, right?
I almost would,
right?
Just because
as the player, because it's
what
the
if it doesn't
longevity.
work, and then it's not only this whole season, but then
Then
it's
it's next.
half of
Yeah,
next
yeah.
season or 3/4 of next season, which we can't have.
Right. So there you have it, dude.
But I can't see what else is going on right now. That's for sure.
Yeah.
And then a couple things here. Michael talking about he doesn't think I have any idea how much he hates Tatum. Michael, loud and clear, I get it, and I'm just trying to get you to take it easy. Focus on the Lakers. Focus on this Yankee season. We need you to focus, Michael. We can't have you worrying about Jason Tatum.
Yeah,
okay?
really.
And then Nathan saying Yankees officials are still gathering information on Garrett Cole's elbows this morning. The only thing that the Yankees officials are doing are lying, Nathan, which they always do. And then he says Blake Snell should be a must for the Yankees also. Yeah, I mean, I would like that. I would say with the three big guys, you think about him and then Cease and Monty. I like Cease 1. I would say Snell second and then Monty third because I think there's still some bitterness in there with Monty. So I don't know if that would be a problem. Michael Buckhead getting riled for Tanaka, asking if he retired. He's been out of Major League Baseball, I believe, Tony, since, what is it, 2020?
Yeah, it sounds about right.
But is pitching
2020, yeah,
in
definitely.
Japan, unless he retired this offseason. But I know he pitched last season for sure. And then Nathan also says Dylan Cease, another pitcher of Cole, misses the season. And then Josh B says he wouldn't mind Cease. And what's up, Nathan? And do you agree with me in the pecking order when we're specifically talking about the Yankees here that Cease should be the priority, Snell the backup, and then Monty the third option if you're the Yankees?
I don't know, dude. I feel like I would pick Snell out of those.
Really?
Yeah.
I just worry about him going. It's like we don't have anybody who goes deep into games. Like we can't have Blake Snell making $40 million and then pitching into the fifth. You know.
I mean, do you think he really would have an issue going long, like longevity wise?
I mean, look at his game logs. Actually, I'm actually curious. Let's get at Snell's game log from last year, just to see what the difference is. And Josh B says he agrees. Double B. So how about that, Tony?
Wow.
So give me how many? Let's count off the 6 inning starts.
All right. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17.
Out of how many starts? 32.
32.
So only half of his starts are
he's won 6 innings or
5
more.
But then also 5 innings or less.
Right. Oh yeah. That's what you're saying. So
I don't think that's good enough. I think if you're making $40 million, 60-70% of the starts need to be 6 innings.
Yeah, no, I agree with that.
And then Nathan also saying they need 2 pitchers, in my opinion, if Cole misses the season. And I did kind of allude to this yesterday that it's like nobody is going to replace Garrett Cole. But I think Cease is a good start. And then maybe you go for like a Michael Lorenzen, who they talked about last year and actually had better numbers than I expected. He was on Philadelphia last year, Tony, right?
That's correct.
Pitching against the Mets.
Yes.
Any thoughts there? I think he used to be on the Tigers, the Reds, right?
I thought it wasn't that good.
But if you look at the numbers, not terrible. Let's see what we got for Michael Lorenzen. 32
years old.
4.18.
Yeah, 4.18 last year, over 25
Not a strikeout guy.
starts. No, 153 innings pitched.
But as a depth move, Tony, you're not going to have to give him much money. I mean,
Yeah,
it might
no,
not
that
be
is-
a horrendous idea.
Yeah, I guess because for the money, that's not a horrendous idea.
What do you think for him? It's 8 million, 9 million, something like that.
Yeah, if that, dude. Seems like he doesn't do terrible. Yeah, August he got kind of popped with giving up home runs. Yeah, it seems inconsistent in terms of giving up home runs a little bit, but still, I guess he does, quite a few 7-inning starts here, an 8-inning. It looks like he pitched a full game shutout against Washington. That's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
And actually 9 innings, no hits, 4 walks though. But like you said, not the strikeout guy you're looking for. Probably averages like 4 or 5 strikeouts a start, I should say. But yeah, I mean, I guess like you said, you get him cheap, 32. We can eat up some innings. That could be useful, but definitely, you definitely need Dylan Cease as well for sure.
Yeah. So, a situation, obviously, we're going to closely monitor. But like I said, hopefully, we get a good performance out of Rodon today and go from there. The Mets lost their 3rd straight yesterday, 4-1 to the Nationals. We'll have a chance tonight against Houston to right the ship. Anything interesting from the game yesterday?
I mean, nothing crazy. Like you said, ho-hum, spring training day, though. Obviously, Quintana there, 4 innings pitched, no earned runs, 1 walk. He continues to look good, which is great. We've been saying that so far. Starting pitching has been great.
Lack of offense, 2 hits.
Lack of offense, only 2 hits. But again, I mean,
Bader hitting 100.
You look at the lineup.
Marte hitting 100.
Yes,
How about
Bader,
Choi, 313?
and dude, Choi's been looking great.
I'm telling
Over the
you,
weekend, had a dinger.
You need him.
Has been.
You
doing
need him
really
on
well.
this team.
But again, look at the rest of the lineup. I mean, Zach Short, another hit. I mean, that's good for him. He's been having a decent spring training. Alonso, I saw his at bats, 0 for 2, going down twice on strikeouts.
Thinking about free agency.
Dude, yeah, I don't know, man. I feel like like I'm
Boris texting him in between at bats.
kind of tight there that he has been really doing great at the plate this spring trade. Not great, I should say. But again, like, Narvaez at the catching position, even Nito got in there a little bit too. Sanchez at short, just like the Yankees, not a starting day lineup necessarily we're playing there. And then in terms of some more pitching there, Lucchesi continues to prove that he shouldn't be in the MLB. Inning in a third, 4 hits, 4 earned runs, 1 walk. His ERA is a 27 for this spring training. So yeah, dude, they ended up losing 4-1 to the Nats. Nothing, not a big deal. They're back on the diamond tonight, I believe, against the Astros. Severino is pitching. Someone who has 5 innings pitched so far, scoreless, baby.
Javier on the mound for Houston.
Yeah, no lineups. I think it's got to be a late. I think it's a late night. 6:10.
Last game of the day.
There we go, buddy. So you
It's
expect
Sevy
Sevy to go out there, like you said, dude. Sevy seizing at that on your t-shirt, dude.
I could see you getting a Severino jersey this year, honestly. I'm telling you, I know I'm getting hyped.
You are
all
getting hyped,
this, and
dude.
it's like April season-ending injury,
Right.
Or 70 ERA.
Could
Probably
be,
one of the two.
Yeah. But if not, then you'll see me, the white jersey with the pinstripe, dude. Severino on the back, like, let's go.
And I know I always ask you these
Do.
ridiculous questions, Tony, but I'm going to ask it anyway. If you had to give me a percentage that Severino makes over 20 starts and has an ERA under 4 for the Mets this year, what percent would you say of him hitting both of those?
Jeez, both of them, huh? Under 4, over 20 starts. I feel like the over 20 starts is pretty good, but the under 4, dang. Yeah, well, I don't know. I don't know, maybe like 42%.
Okay. I mean, probably higher. I mean, it was probably 10 when they first signed him for you.
Yeah,
no?
literally probably
like
0.
you've gotten riled about hitting near 100 on the gun.
And let's go, like spring training.
Yeah.
I mean, like another start tonight. Expect it to be good. It's going to be good, I'm sure it will be. And then like you got even more confidence.
Have you heard of anything, from any, Mets insiders, just how they feel about this?
Mendoza seems to love him.
Yeah.
So I mean,
Knows him.
obviously knows him too. So it says he's dialed in, expects a lot from him this season. It says he's super focused and looking to be competitive. Last I saw, I think that was probably the post game after his last start. But yeah, so let's go, dude.
Yeah. So that's a 6-10. Yankees on at 1. And like I said, we wait for Garrett Cole's injury diagnosis. But let's wait no longer. Let's go to the world of the National Hockey League.
Here he comes. McDavid shoots. Top shelf. He scores. Captain with the overtime winner. That's the middle quick. It's a world-class hit right here. Tomsky stepping. Rink Washington made the full split save.
Are you kidding me?
Turn. Side of the net between the legs and they score. Filthy. David Pastrnak. The silver trophy to the Golden Knights.
Let's go, baby! All fucking day. What a win, Brian, huh?
What a game. Watched the entire thing and was just so proud of our hockey team, Tony. The defense is unbelievable. And I think it's the reason why the defense and Igor is playing so well. They don't allow the other team to have like any good angles at the goal.
Yeah.
They're always right there
Mhm.
contesting them. Even when the other team seems like they have an open breakaway. I don't know if you saw that with Kuznetsov, almost had an open breakaway.
Yeah, I did
but
see that.
I don't know if it was Braden Schneider who caught up to him and just complete dominance on the defensive side. And it's kind of ironic, they win 1-0, in Carolina yesterday, that like we were talking about them being a defensive hockey team yesterday. And here we are. They win this game 1-0, and so they get a shot from Igor, shut out from the defense, and the only goal scored by a defenseman in Adam Fox was a crazy goal near the end of the first period. So I just thought, this was a tough game. We mentioned about it being a litmus test for the Rangers. And after losing those games to Florida and Toronto, you really wanted to right the ship, and you have a game, I think, in Tampa on Thursday, and then a busy weekend as well. So you just really wanted to win this one. Gensel was playing for Carolina, and you kept him at bay.
Mhm.
And it was just a great team effort. And I would have liked to see more goals. Yes, I do understand. Like I said, it was a tough opponent. But I think this is what it's going to look like if the Rangers are going to go deep into the Stanley Cup playoffs. It's going to be lockdown defense, and it's going to be timely goals. And that's what's going to propel them. I don't know if we'll see more offense, but it kind of seems like take the under when we're talking about the Rangers from this point moving forward.
Yeah, that's for sure. I mean, hey, listen, you said this was probably one of the first litmus tests we saw after this trade deadline, because we talked about the teams that really bolstered their rosters at the trade deadline that you could be seeing in the postseason. Obviously, Hurricanes being one of them, and you totally shut them down. I think that this game, first of all, was like a total goaltending clinic. I know the Rangers didn't score a lot.
And also, I've been mispronouncing. It's not
it's Kochekov.
Kochekov.
I think they were saying Kochekov.
Yeah, I think that's what
night.
Sam
It was
Rosen was saying.
Kochekov. Yeah,
he made a bunch of great saves, but
unbelievable.
Igor, and they mentioned on the broadcast, playing as good as any goalie in the NHL. I've never been so happy to be wrong about something, Tony. Where did this come from? What was going on? Where was this?
Listen, I'm telling you, I think it was just great goaltenders, especially Igor, who is still relatively young.
Yeah.
They just go through like bad spurts of goaltending. And I think people forget too, like he was injured. He was definitely dealing with something. And then on top of that, I mean, I feel like the Rangers in general as a team were dealing with certain things. Jacob Trouba was out for a while. He's out right now, ironically enough, too. We had Adam Fox was down for a little bit too this season. So Igor didn't have great defense in front of him.
True.
For a lot of his starts.
Kakko.
Yeah. Kakko was down. Hedl, another great defensive forward.
I kind of forgot about Hedl. Imagine if we had
it's kind of crazy. Exactly. Imagine if we had him right now.
We wouldn't have gotten Wennberg.
Probably wouldn't have. Although Wennberg had a great game. We'll get into that, dude.
Yeah.
But I think that this was certainly I think this was one of the best starts by Igor I've ever seen, honestly. And there was a couple saves that I think were so indicative of how unbelievable he was last night. I want to say I got a time code down for. Let's see. I think this was the second period. So
also,
it was up 1-0.
While you're pulling this up too, how about Vinny T? All the faceoffs last night. The game-winning faceoff at the end of the game, 8 seconds after Miller kind of was a dumb shot. It was an icing. But then he had a 2-minute and 40-second shift when they needed him most. No problem. I
love Vinny T.
I can't believe it. But you really knew, is it you just did you, first of all, before he came here, did you really see him that much? Or were you more just looking up the numbers, seeing a good face-off percentage? Did you know much about Vinny T before he came here?
I mean, yeah, I saw him when he played against the Rangers, really. And he was definitely a gritty center. And of course, I mean, I noticed that he was winning face-offs a lot against us. I was that's the type of guy you need. That's the center you want. And I mean, he's on that line with Panarin. I mean, they gel so well together. So it's sick, dude.
And it's crazy. And he could score way better than I thought. I thought it's he's not really a scorer, but it's he can score pretty good.
Dude, Panarin puts the puck on his tape.
Yeah.
So and he's able to just put it in the net.
Fundamentals, Tony. A
Keeps
big part
simple
of
game,
winning
dude.
hockey.
Yep. Who would have thought?
Let's get to the Tony breakdown. Josh P.
Let's go, dude. So all right. So this save right here, absolutely ridiculous. I'll run it back a little bit. I believe it might be even a Goot Snell. I probably should mute the thing. There we go, baby. So let's see. All right, so this I want to say. Oh yeah, dude. So he's off of Goot Snell. Gonna see a sick play right here. A great pass right to Goot Snell. Again, like you're saying, Rangers doing a great job. Yes, Gensel. Dude, Goot Snell. Doing a great job in, cutting down angles, clogging up lanes. You see Miller right there. He plays this really well. You're still going to see, Gensel have an opportunity, obviously to get the puck to Igor or to his teammate, I believe. But still, Miller plays this great. Stick on the ground, stick on stick right there. And you're going to see, he disrupts his play enough from Jake. But probably what I noticed most about Igor, which I really haven't seen a lot of this season, is just his overall awareness of what's going on in front of him, even off puck, dude. We're talking about, his awareness off puck. I mean, look at him. He's dialed in to Jake here, expecting a shot. He's down on the butterfly, but he knows, I think it's Nikas that comes over in the center in front of him. And at this point here, he sees a defensive play. And the puck, look where the puck is. It's in front of Miller, right? He's got his eyes on the puck, but he's using his peripheral vision. I mean, I don't think this is Nikas. I forget who this is. But he sees this guy coming, and he's already off the post, trying to get on that back foot, like right there, pushing off the post. And you'll see right here is where he starts to recognize that. He sees this guy coming in, and he's already off, dude. Before the puck is even away from Gensel here. And look at that. Before there's even a shot off, his leg is out there. He's making a split right pad save that otherwise would have been a completely wide open net. And again, in a 1-goal game, and those are the saves you're looking for. Absolutely ridiculous. See it again here in real time. He's already over there. Before like he even has a chance to shoot, Igor's just smothering that puck, dude. No shot, dude. Makes a ridiculous save. Stays poised. Like again, like there's so much traffic in front. He gets hit and he's aggressive, dude. Look at it. He comes out of the crease there, aggressiveness, and absolutely shuts that down. I mean, that would have been a goal there. I think there was one more too. And I think it was the play you were talking about. I could be wrong. It might have been just a 6 save. First of all, this save was ridiculous by Kochekov on Trocheck. It was a breakaway 2-on-1, and that was probably one of the biggest saves of the game. And that was what the Rangers were dealing with all game, dude. Like I said, goaltending clinic all night. And I think, this is it. Yeah, okay. So there's Gensel right there. Again, like look at this. There's no one. It's 1-on-none right now, dude. And Igor is just again full split, total awareness of what was coming at him. I mean, look where the puck is. 2 men on. I think this is Svechnikov, maybe 92, who's just been disrupting everything here. And there's Gensel wide freaking open. Igor knows where he's coming at. I mean, this is such a defensive breakdown, too, and Igor is just right there, smothers it, doesn't move. Schneider comes over, gets Gensel out of there, and the play's out of there, dude.
Wait, what's
Clears
the
the
deal, like just pushing somebody like that, and like, especially with the stick, like, what's the penalty, what's not?
So that stick right there, you'll see, I mean, right here, look at Schneider. I mean, he's wound up. He's not in stride. His feet are set on the ground. That's what you're kind of looking at. And it's a clean hit. It's shoulder to shoulder right there.
But can you just push somebody like this as hard as you want?
You can push with your hands, but you can't cross. You can't like check them with the stick. You can't cross. That's a cross check.
Okay.
But this is all straight body. And they also, I think, hockey does a great job too with understanding momentum of a player. Whereas like, if you end up like even on like high hits with your shoulder, if the point of contact is clean and you rise up because of the hit and you're, like that's like understood to be, hey, that was a clean hit. You attempted to be clean, just momentum with a hit made it, a rising hit or whatever, but totally clean. And then great job there. They clear it right away. Carolina's back on their heels. And again, like team effort. I mean, look, I don't even know who this is. Doesn't matter. But look how hard they're skating towards this puck, not making it easy for the Hurricanes to recover. I think that was maybe Lafreniere. Absolutely great job from Igor all fucking night, dude. And then you talked about Fox's goal. I feel like Fox last night, I mean, he played such a pivotal role because he understood what he was supposed to do. And he was like basically a fourth forward on the ice, which we've seen him do so many times, come down, be the aggressor of the blue line. And I think that really fucked with the Hurricanes because they were collapsing towards the net a lot because of the pressure the Rangers had. And that gave the defenseman like Adam Fox opportunities to kind of collapse down and be an offensive piece. And that goal was so sick. I mean, I feel like that first period was so back and forth between both players, or both teams, I should say, until that final 2 minutes. And I don't know if you noticed, but it started with a shift from our third line, from Kakko, from Wenberg, and Cooley, where they had just such sustained offense out of those 3 forwards. I believe with the 2 minutes left, and then like the next shift, you had Fox out there with your first line, and they're able to find the back of the net and just totally had the Hurricanes on their heels for the last of the first period, and that's when you start to see some dominance. Rangers outshot, I should say. I mean, obviously outscored too, but outshot the Hurricanes. I think 12-5 in the first period. And then second period was pretty, again, like that was the goaltending clinic. We saw a lot of saves from both tenders. And I think that third period was just so electric with opportunities on both ends. It literally felt like a playoff game. It literally did. I was like on the edge of your seat watching this game. It was sick.
I could not believe it. Honestly, it was so much fun to watch. I was just completely locked in. and I knew it was going to be tough. But it's just like I said, the defense unbelievable, and then Adam Fox. I've always liked him. I know he didn't get off to the best start this year, but what he does on the ice and what a good offensive player he is. I wouldn't be surprised if in the future, Tony, he gets into the 20s. I think in goals, like he has 52 points, I believe they said on the air last night. He's unbelievable.
Yeah.
So it's exciting time to be a Rangers fan right now, as they just keep going along, and as we get closer and closer here to the Stanley Cup playoffs, and they will be in Tampa, 7:00 game tomorrow, before back-to-back games on Saturday and Sunday. I believe the only week of the season where they have 5 games.
Crazy.
So Pittsburgh Saturday, and then the Islanders 1:00 TNT on Sunday. So really, really good stuff there. We'll talk about, of course, the game with the Lightning tomorrow.
Oh yeah.
And I wanted to check pick wise. You have everything on your notebook all set?
Yeah.
from
So
what we've done?
actually, I have a record over the past 2 days. If you want to just add it in.
So before we do it, let's
Yeah.
add to the record, because Fridays I didn't get to do, because I didn't have my
Oh,
laptop
okay.
on
Okay. I
Sundays.
got you. I got
So
you.
if you
Yeah,
could
yeah,
go
yeah.
to Friday
and
Saturday,
Saturday,
Saturday's
dude.
games.
Wow. Over the weekend. Let's go. Okay. So I got Friday ready. What do you got?
All right. So Avalanche in the over,
1-1.
Red Wings in the under,
2-2.
Jets in the under, or Stars in the under. Or
Um,
over, sorry. Stars in the over.
4-2.
Jets in the under.
6-2.
Oilers in the over.
Oh, and so now we go Saturday. So 6-2. Oilers in the over. 6-4.
Hurricanes in the under.
I would imagine it was 6.5. Hurricanes in the under. Hold on, stand by. What did I say? We were 6-4.
Yep.
6-4. 6-4.
Yep. 6.5.
So
8-4.
8-4.
Yep. Blue Jackets in the under.
9-5.
Bruins in the under.
Double check the over under. We were 9-5. 9-5. I keep hitting box score because it's just my freaking reflex. 9-5, and the over under was 5.5.
Panthers in the over.
So no.
5.5.
9-5. And you had Bruins in the over.
Under.
Bruins in the under. So you're 10-6 now.
And then Panthers in the over.
Oh God,
That's not a 5.5. The Panthers
right?
aren't
No
gonna be
way. All right, so
5.5.
Panthers in the over. So you're what do we 11-6, 11-7,
11-7. Canadians in the under.
12-8,
Flyers in the under.
12-8. 12-10 now.
Blackhawks in the over.
12-12,
The Sharks in the over. Well,
13-13. All right.
Rangers in the under.
15-13.
Canucks in the over.
16-14.
Red Wings in the under.
16-16.
And then Stars in the under. 18-16. right?
18-16.
So okay, 18-16.
Write
and
that down. 18-16.
I got it. No, but then what's
Then you were 17-11.
okay? So 35-27, right?
27. Yeah.
Okay, so let me just do this really quick. So 35 plus 74, so 109. Let's get to the bottom here. 109, and let's see. So it was,
27 losses.
and then 27 losses added to 68. So 27 plus 68 is 95. 95. Yeah,
Wow.
95.
95.
So I am
109, 95.
109 and 95. Not terrible. And then let's go your Friday, Saturday when you're ready.
I'm ready.
Avalanche in the over,
1-1,
Red Wings in the under,
2-2,
Stars in the under,
3-3,
Jets in the over,
4-4,
Oilers in the under,
5-5.
Hurricanes in the under.
What we say the over under was 6.5.
Yeah.
So it's 5-5. Now I'm 7-5.
Predators in the over,
8-6.
Bruins in the under.
What we say with that was 6.5, right?
Yep.
Bruins in the over.
Oh, it was 5.5 actually. It was 5.5.
5.5.
Yeah.
Sorry, what was that? Was that 6-5?
Yeah.
So
No, it
it's
had to be even numbers. So 7-5 was it?
7-5.
Yeah.
Okay, so 7-5, and now this is 1-1, so it's 8-6.
Panthers in the over.
9 and 7.
Maple Leafs in the over.
10 and 8.
Flyers in the under.
10 and 10.
Capitals in the under.
12 and 10.
Senators in the under.
13 and 11.
Rangers in the over.
14 and 12.
Canucks in the over.
15 13.
Golden Knights in the under.
16 14.
Kings in the over.
16 16.
16 and 16. Okay.
And then I went 15 and 13.
So 15 and 30. So what is it?
So 16 and 16. So 15 plus 16 is 31. So I went 31 and 27.
Okay, so that means that you're
31 and 27. That doesn't make any sense, right? Because you went 35 and 27.
What did you say you were?
31 and 27.
There was some.
No, 31 29. There it is.
Oh, it is? Okay.
31 29.
Okay.
And that
so 110. And then you said what was the losses?
29.
63 plus 29. So 110 and 92. So I think we're closer.
Well,
we actually have that problem again.
Yeah, we do have that problem. This is off. This does not make sense. Like I have one more win, but 3 less losses.
So how about we just make it 110 94, 109 95, right?
Yeah, I'm down with that.
Right. And then we got to just, I don't know. We'll figure out something where it's just easier and that everybody's probably just cracking up.
We probably should just do like just straight like wins and not.
Oh, not totals?
Just points, not like record.
Oh, points. Yeah.
Do a point system.
I just wanted to see what our winning percentage.
Yeah.
Let's try to get through it though.
Yeah, we are. We're gonna power through. We always do. Dude.
And we are gonna power through another hockey frenzy.
God damn. It is hump day around the National Hockey League. You know what it do, baby. We're starting a little bit later than usual and a small slate today on this hump day. Only 4 games starting at 7:30 p.m. We're going to be in the Enterprise Center, St. Louis. The Blues hosting the L.A. Kings, baby. St. Louis plus 135 here at home. And, of course, LA minus 155. Over-under a little bit lower here at 5.5. Both these teams coming off of wins, and the regular season series is split between the two. Last time they met, January 28th, Blues took it in overtime 4-3. What do you anticipate happening here in St. Louis?
The under, and the Kings not being any good, which I've kind of said all season long. By the way, I was trying to think about what team Olmark was going to go to. The Kings didn't want to acquire him.
They did.
So you know.
They did.
Anyway, Blues in the under. Buchnevich, the game winner, 2-1 in overtime.
Another overtime thriller. I would say give me the Kings and give me the over. Looks like, like the last game I think was over. The game before that was at least 6 goals total. So give me the total being over. Kings win this one in regulation. I'll say 4-3, edging them out towards the end there. Good defense. Let's go. Next game, still 7:30. Going over to Winnipeg, baby, as they take on the Nashville Predators. Winnipeg at home, minus 155. The over-under will be set at 5.5 as well. Low total so far. Looks like this regular season series is also split at 1. This will be the 3rd or 4th times these two teams play each other. Both teams winning 3 of the last 5. Obviously, Jets on paper, better team here, but what do you anticipate?
Yeah, looking at this game, I got to just go with the Jets, and I know Hellebuck has been struggling a little bit, going through an Igor type of stretch that he had earlier in the year. But yeah, I think the Jets will beat the Predators. Again, we're going under. I'm going to say the Jets will win this one 3-2.
It's tough, dude. I want to say the Jets will win here at home as well. I want to take the under. I say, Jets maybe 2-1, dude. Let's
You
go.
said over in the Kings, right?
I did say over in the
Gotcha.
Kings. Let's freaking go. Next game, we're going to 10 p.m. now. Still in Canada. We're going to be in Edmonton, though, as they take on the Capitals here. Battle of North America, TNT, baby. Edmonton, of course, the favorites here at home at minus 290. So if you're feeling crazy, Washington plus 250 here.
Or just feel crazy and throw 290 to win 100 on the Oilers.
Sure, dude. Over-unders at 6.5. You would imagine a lot of scoring, probably a lot of scoring by the Oilers, who just blanked the Penguins 4-0, by the way. Last time these two teams faced each other way back in November, Edmonton took care of business, 5-0 victory. Do you think the same outcome tonight, Brian?
Yes. So I am going to say Edmonton, the shutout, but they hit the over themselves 7-0 over the Capitals.
I mean, how do you argue against that? Give me Oilers and the over. We're not playing around here. Let's go. Final game, 10:30. Another game in Canada. Freaking hump day over there in Canada. The Canucks taking on the Colorado Avalanche. This is going to be a sick game here when you think of the teams coming out of the West there. Vancouver 42-17-7, Colorado 41-20-5. This will be the third and final time these two teams face each other. Colorado with a 2-0 lead against the Canucks this season. We got both of these two teams on 4-game win streaks, and Winnipeg here, just lost to the Canucks 5-0. So think about that. The Avs took care of business in Canada, in Calgary, 6-2. They hate Canadian teams here. Over under 6.5. What do you think's gonna happen?
Yeah, I think the Avalanche with Demko out for a couple weeks take advantage of Casey DeSmith or whoever will be in net for Vancouver here. So I think we do get a lot of offense. I mean, the Canucks have been good offensively this year. JT Miller having a career year. So I'm going to say Colorado is going to win this one 6-3.
Yeah, that's tough. Losing Thatcher, we talked about how great he's been this season. 5 shutouts in the year, 34-13, great record. But hey, Georgiev, 33-15. The starter will be hot for Colorado. So give me the Avs and the over as well. I think they win. I don't know. Let's say 5-2.
And that is your hockey frenzy. You're going to make fun of me for asking this, but you did take the under in the Oilers game, right?
No.
Oh, you took the over?
Yes.
Okay.
Same bet,
that's
same
why we
bet as
check.
you do.
That's how we check. 4 overs for you, huh?
Yeah, I guess so, dude. No, yeah, I think so. Kings
Jets,
for the
Oilers,
over. Yeah.
and Avs,
Well, because those two games too, like 5.5. I feel like sometimes, I don't know, 5.5 is crazy. I feel so.
But what
Give me all the
about?
overs,
I
too.
wonder what our record would be like, especially up to this point in the season. Also, if we went back, but just Rangers game under every single time.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, with the way Igor's been playing, dude, even quick.
Yeah,
because we're gonna get a quick start at some point.
3-1. I mean,
dude.
that was an under.
Yeah.
Against the Devils. Yeah. So kind of interesting stuff. Josh was riled for the Chell Frenzy. Had a boom batty. Nathan talking about joining the show for a segment, so we definitely can set that up.
Oh yeah,
and
dude.
then Michael Butka says, Barnes, what would happen if you and I and Tony went to a Lakers Celtics finals game? I think me and Tony would go in with earplugs just to make sure we would have hearing after the game was over.
Dude, oh my goodness.
Oh man. But it's nice that there's a lot of Rangers games this week, but it's crazy. Like they're so much fun to watch. Like it's like I wish there was one every night. Honestly.
I know.
It's so sick. It's interesting to see. I mean, it's obviously I was very disappointed that they didn't add any scoring at the deadline, but then it's like the way they've played the last couple of games.
Crazy, dude.
Hard to argue with that. I think it's Mika stepping up, like we've talked about, is big. What's Rempe gonna do?
What do you think about that 4-game suspension?
Seems a little crazy. I guess Boomer was tight. I guess he's saying
Really?
Rempe, it's like a sideshow, like just play the game, like pissed.
I mean, see, you know what? That's why Boomer pisses me off sometimes. Because that is a part of the game.
Yeah.
Having a bruiser and an enforcer like that, I mean, is very much a part of the game. I mean, it showed some dividends there. He gets the team riled. We talked about how many times he's gotten into a fight. A couple minutes later, Rangers end up scoring because they're riled. And like on top of that, like he's been progressing as a player too. You saw, Gustafson's goal 2 games ago. Rempe was screening Kakko Kakkonen, against the Devils there. That
no
was
relation to
Capo Kakko, of course. But it was Rempe screen, his big 6'7" body, probably like close to 7 feet on skates, dude. He was screening the goaltender. I mean, and that's him playing his game. Like people who like argue, oh, he can't be fighting all the time, he can't whatever. Like, yeah, that's understandable. Like you can't go out there every game and be fighting. Which is what he's been doing.
Game, yeah.
But again, like if that's what you want to do, that's fine too, and that's part of the game. It is when you start getting a little carried away with your hits. Because I think people also were talking about the 4-game suspension, which I don't really. I think that's pretty reasonable too. Because I mean, when you think about him coming up to the league, I mean, it was like huge, questionable hits, and then a lot of fights every game. And it's like especially if you're the NHL and you're the refs here, you want to put some type of hammer down, like, hey, like we get it, like you can do this, like you are doing it, that's fine, but there's got to be some governance,
Yeah, but I think Bettman likes it. People talk about the fights.
Of course, dude. I mean, it's again, like I said, it's a great aspect of the game that isn't around as much. Even other players appreciate it, dude. You hear, Ryan Reeves and Matt Martin talking about him. They're saying how it's a lost art, like part of the game. Having an enforcer, a guy on the ice who can fight. And again, like I'm saying, he's starting to play better fundamental hockey as well. I'm all for it. I love Rempe. But I mean, that hit. I forget whoever it was against the Devils. I mean, you can't be sticking your elbow out like that. That is too egregious. And again, like that's because he was getting away with a lot of borderline hits. He's a big body. He's got to stay low, keep his elbow tucked in. And then you really shouldn't have a problem and continue to absolutely blow up players effectively, but also like, by the rules here. So, I mean, I'm all for it. I think anyone who's against it is a freaking loser.
Speaking of WFAN with Boomer, I guess this came out 6 minutes ago. The White Sox reportedly want 1.5 times what the Brewers got for Corbin Burns in the Dylan Cease trade.
Oh,
again, the Yankee tax Cashman. So who knows if we'll get anything there. And then Michael Bucka asking, is this the reason you and Tony would be wearing earplugs? Is because I would be out of control about Tatum? To simplify things for you, Michael, yes. So that's really all we got. I just see too, I guess Mad Dog, I guess had his rankings. I'm sure he was catching some heat, but he doesn't have Lamar Jackson as a top 3 quarterback in the AFC. That just came along X timeline over here. I mean, I don't think that's that crazy because obviously Mahomes, and then I think Josh Allen is a better quarterback. I think Joe Burrow is a better quarterback. I mean, am I missing something? Like, is he supposed to be better than those guys or no? I even like Tua over him, to be honest.
Really?
Yeah.
Tua?
Yeah. As passing the ball.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, I don't know. I feel like a lot of people talk about Tua and they're like, oh, like he's only good because his target is Hill and it's impossible to overthrow him. And even so, Tua does sometimes. There's any validity to that statement?
No, I think he's good. He has weaknesses like other guys, but even take him out of the conversation. I mean, how do you argue with Allen, Burrow, Mahomes over Jackson? You can't.
You really can't. I mean,
even Herbert, I think, is better. I know, yes, Jackson has accomplished more. I get it.
Yeah, and I mean, even like Allen, you can talk. I mean, I feel like he's just as much of a choke fest as Lamar, in the past.
But I think he just shows that he's a better passer.
Definitely better passer. Yeah. And I mean, he is also Josh Allen's a great runner too. He's a different type of runner, but still a great runner.
Less likely to fumble.
Yeah, true.
More careful with the ball.
Maybe Burrow, you could say, smallish sample size, injury prone. Yeah. Maybe, but other than that,
Joey B out for advantages this year. You think every game he shows up with the mink coat, the glasses?
I think so, absolutely, dude. Yeah. And I mean because he was gone like half the season, more than that.
Probably played 6.
Bengals were last in their division, right? Because of that,
maybe, but I think they still won 9 games.
Really?
Yeah.
Actually, I still have
Zach Taylor, Coach of the Year,
9-8, were last. And I guess you'd imagine they'll be better than the Browns, probably better than the Steelers too. Even though Steelers probably be a little better than what they were last season, but still, I mean, I feel like the Ravens were almost handed the AFC North.
Yeah. Also,
because of the circumstances.
I know. Again, maybe I'm jumping the gun here, but I think I'll take CJ Stroud over Lamar Jackson.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to say yes, but I mean, we talked about it. Stroud is.
I
just
mean, I
an
know,
absolute
yes,
stud.
Jackson beat him in the playoff game, but
Yeah.
let's see that rematch again this year.
Again, yeah. I mean, if Stroud, as he gets older, he could be
Yeah.
the one beating out Lamar.
So we will see, but
Yeah.
here we are again, another outstanding episode. And we really appreciate everybody who commented, liked, subscribed, checked out all the archives on the YouTube page. Tony, Michael, Renee, and Jay in costume merch at downtimetv.com. Want everybody to enjoy the day, enjoy the games. Let's go, Yankees.
Let's go, Mets.
And we will see you mañana.
Hey guys, Tony here from Downtime TV checking in. I want to thank all our fans out there who's been liking, subscribing, sharing our content. You guys are the best. You guys are our bloodline. You make us love what we do. Thanks again.